Installing self-sticking vinyl plank flooring is a relatively easy do-it-yourself project, but preparation is key. First, the subfloor, in this case concrete, must be completely clean and free of dirt and dust. The room or rooms where the floor is being installed must also be climate-controlled and a consistent temperature, preferably warm. Begin by laying out a line in the center of the room along its length. This is where the installation begins so that the cuts along the two long walls will be equal. Begin at one end. It's important that no piece be less than 6 inches in length and that the joints on adjacent rows do not align with each other. Since all of these pieces are of equal length, the first piece of each row should be cut carefully to maintain the offset of joints and leave the piece at the other end at least 6 inches long. Using a square and a sharp utility knife, the pieces are scored to about half their depth, then snapped in half. Cuts along the length of the pieces can also be made with a knife, but since it's more difficult to snap the pieces this way, we're using a small circular saw to make these cuts. The cushioned self-adhesive backing on these planks is repositionable so they can be moved if the initial placement isn't quite right. It's important that each piece of flooring be tight against the adjacent pieces, but there should be a small gap around the edges of the room to allow for expansion and contraction of the material. That gap is then covered with shoe molding, which is nailed to the baseboard around the room, concealing the edges and holding them down. Finally, use a weighted flooring roller to firmly bond the vinyl planks with the subfloor below, and you've created a brand new, beautiful floor.